Hello, LinkedIn, and welcome to another happy hour here with us. My name is Carla, and today I'm your host for today. After a long week, we all deserve a moment to cool down, recharge, and clear our minds to enjoy the weekend. Many of us are still working from home. Can you believe it has been already a year that we stopped going to the office, or at least on a regular basis? I mean, that means that was also the last time we had our physical interaction at the office, our last happy hour. And I don't know about you guys, but here at With Locals, we definitely miss that tradition and other meaningful interaction moments with our colleagues throughout the day. That's why we started the Friday happy hour here on LinkedIn to connect with peers, motivate each other, and maintain this fun ritual. I wonder if you and your teams are missing the happy hour ritual as well. You can let us know by answering the question that we're going to display on screen right now. So, do you guys miss the office happy hour just like we do? Now, for those who are joining us today for the first time, with Locals for Teams is a platform that connects teams and platforms together by providing highly engaging and interactive virtual experiences to keep employees connected, engaged, and productive. With a combination of cutting edge technology and a rich network of passionate hosts from around the world, we provide a rich diversity of experiences designed for different purposes. Working remotely has its pros, but yet many companies are still navigating through the new methods on how to cultivate their cultures. So, whether you aim to maintain your team's bond and connection, offer them ways to chill out and have fun, charging their energy and caring for their wellness, or simply keeping them uninspired, motivating them, or our experiences meet all of your expectations. And every week, we have a new theme for a happy hour. And since we're 2 days away from Valentine's Day, love is in the air, we dedicate today's experience to celebrate our romance and spread love vibes to our audience. Celebrating Valentine's Day at work is not a norm, but why not? Love has no rules, or as someone said, love knows no reason, no boundaries, no distance. It has the sole intention of bringing people together to a time called forever. Isn't that nice? And because our LinkedIn happy hour is all about connecting people, today we're hosting Christiane, live from Paris, the city of love. She has a lot of inspiring romantic stories to tell us, so I'm gonna introduce her to you guys. Hi, Christiane. I heard that Valentine's Day has a lot of history in France, and the village of Saint Valentine makes a lot of this day with its own festival of love, right?
Bonjour, Carla. How are you? Thank you for having me and thank you for such a beautiful introduction. Yes, Paris, we do celebrate love, I feel, all year round. But a little bit about myself. I'm a freelance writer and I am what is called a polyglot creative. So I'm very happy to share a little bit about love and of course one of my favorite subjects being love and share this happy hour with you. And with no further ado, I think everyone should grab some wine or some champagne or something to drink because let's get this happy hour started. And I'm going
What
to
an
go with some
amazing
French
idea.
champagne.
Perfect. I love this idea, Christian. It's like
Yes,
the best way to start. And I don't have champagne, but I
yes.
have beer with me. But I love that you have your own bottle. Amazing. Love it.
Yes, there's a lot of traditions around champagne, actually, around love as well. So I'll tell you one that I love. So the end of the bottle or the last glass is meant to bring you marriage or a baby that coming year. So a lot of women are running to get their last
Oh,
glass of champagne. So here's,
well, then I'm
so
glad
here's
that I'm not
to
having champagne. Sorry about that.
you can skip it also. That's also
Yeah.
something you can definitely do. So to us,
Yay!
santé.
Dante,
Here we go.
I'll wait for you so we
Santé.
can.
And another thing that was served with a lot of bubbles. But another thing about champagne that people don't know, and I've seen around the world, people will serve it in flutes. And in fact, it's much better to serve it in a wine glass, in an open face
Really?
glass, because it lets the bubbles breathe. So make sure next time you drink your champagne out of a wine glass. So santé, which means to your
Dante,
health in France. And
cheers. I
So
didn't know
let's
that
get
was
this
true.
happy hour started.
Let's do it.
Yeah, lots of different traditions. Yeah. And I pair it with some nice fresh strawberries, just because that's another little trick that we do in France. We actually can even add cucumber to champagne and lots of different uh, elements to sort of bring out the different licorice taste or the grape taste or whatever it's being mixed with. So we are 45 minutes from Rennes, which is one of the most beautiful champagne villages in the world. Of course, the only place that makes champagne, but it's a vineyard. And so, yeah, so cheers to us and to beautiful effervescent champagne and all the love that we share in Paris that is bringing us together these days. So, let's talk a little bit about love. So, love and dating. So
Let's.
it's a little bit different dating in Paris and France than anywhere else in the world. I've lived in other parts of the world and I noticed that people date, and it's something that we don't really do here in France. It's very interesting, the socioeconomic background behind how dating works here. So if you are in Paris and you are coming to study, or you are living in the big city, as we refer to Paris and France as,
Mm-hmm.
you automatically are surrounded by people within your same educational level and within your same socioeconomic background. So then you normally meet your friend, your boyfriend, or your fiance, or your future husband through friends. So
Okay.
that's very different than anywhere else in the world, where you would go on dates or dating apps, or different. I mean, we still do all these dating apps,
Yes.
but for the most part, solid relationships are based around friendship circles, which is why
Oh,
your friends are very, very, very important element to your personal life in France, which I didn't find that anywhere else in the world, where things are very individual and also things move very differently as well. So you don't sort of go through this dating process. You either go or you don't go. So it's very different, where in other countries people will let things simmer and see how it goes,
yeah.
again because all the other elements are already set up for us. So as I said, so you're already around people that you want to engage with, just very naturally, just the way society is set up in France. So then those elements are taken care of. So now you just really just need that natural chemistry, and
But then
that's
does
what we
it
live for
happen?
in France. And
Does it happen as well that so you have your circle of friends and you're introduced to the person? Is it more like your friend is like, ah, Christian might like this guy, or like a bit of like matchmaking?
yes, it's definitely a bit of matchmaking. I feel like the first matchmaker came out of Paris. Because it is
Really?
definitely, yes, I think so. It's in our nature. It's done very subtle. It's done, you don't really introduce people. You just sort of invite all your friends over at home, which is, we're having a big difficulty this year because nobody's sort of
Yeah,
engaging. We need an attestation to even go out. So
yeah,
it is impacting, and 1 out of 3 people are facing mental health difficulties right now.
yeah,
And you can imagine why, because our society is based on each other. We don't have cars in Paris, so we're constantly meeting people on the streets, and it's just very
yeah,
much a part of our
definitely.
culture. So
I think you guys
yeah,
are
and
more
another thing that,
into resource to modern techniques like yeah, the internet or these applications, which it might be something new and something outside of your
yeah,
comfort zone. So I can imagine that it's something that is like, I mean, I imagine the French very traditional in the way that they like to do things. They're, I don't know, like following how they used to do it, right?
definitely. And I mean, Tinder is an app that's actually from France. So that's ironic, but
Cool.
that's
Yeah.
literally how we connect around our social circle. So now it's obviously turned into something else, but I'm sure the origins of that company was trying to do just that. And another thing
Wow.
that we do is that things are very natural in France, in the sense that famous couples like Simone Beauvoir and Sartre. This is a very good example of a traditional, or I should say a non-traditional, unattached relationship in France. You don't become sort of dependent on that person. Women are very much first class citizens in France. So you do have very equal partnerships, which
Mm-hmm.
statistically has shown that that does help in the love department if both partners have an equal say and an
Yeah.
equal part in the relationship. So
Yeah.
when you see couples like Simone Beauvoir and Sartre, which had a very untraditional, unattached love where they individually lived their own lives and then sort of came together later on in their lives, and even then they never formed sort of this traditional marriage aspect. It was always about them self-loving each other, self-love, which is really
Yeah.
important. And we hear a lot about self-love these days. For French people, for European people, that's it's you don't even think about being with someone until
Yeah.
you have fully loved yourself and are
But
happy
I
with who
think
you
that's
are and feel
definitely quite
good.
healthy. That's one of the healthiest way that you can approach this situation, this love in itself. I mean, it starts with you, and then it starts with someone else. It's just, I love that you guys have
Definitely.
this approach since the beginning. It's the healthy way, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. And you'd be surprised how many people around the world don't date like this because it becomes, oh, this person is stability. This person is certain things that I need, But if you sort of have what you need, not everything, because of course love is beautiful and when a person can definitely complete you and make you feel good. But it's very important that, for instance, like Simone Beauvoir, who had a very full life, who wrote many, many books, who discusses existentialism, and all these beautiful sociologists came together, and instead of her being the backbone of her man, who she could have just sort of followed
Yeah.
him,
Yeah.
she specifically wanted to be just as engaging, just as amazing, just as powerful as he was. And you
Yeah.
see a lot of these characters in French history that really, some people will even have children first,
Yeah.
not necessarily go into, a tied down traditional relationship. And the irony of all of this is that today we're celebrating Saint Valentine, and Saint Valentine is essentially a Roman Catholic a priest who was, marrying people during the Middle Ages, during difficult times for religion. And we do celebrate every like bank holiday in France is normally a saint. So our Catholicism and our faith is around, but it doesn't really impose on our daily lives. So
I think, I mean, that's the historical part. It's always, I think, goes back to also deep rooted traditions and religion. But I think now that we mentioned the famous couples, I know that you have a poll that you would like to ask the audience to see if they have an idea of what we mentioned, which is which of the famous French couples that we're going to show them in their screen have their love letters sold in an auction. And I would also like, while the people answer, Christian, I would like to know more about how the steps of the romantic affairs in France go to. I think now that we know that it's a bit different than on the other part of the world, I mean, I think it would be good to kind of like deep dive a bit on it.
yeah, so as I said, the steps that are taken are always very natural. If you go into sociology, you see that all the other steps have been lined up for us. So we are very fortunate in that sense, where some of the other things that perhaps in other countries are not in order. And you do see a lot of expats and a lot of people coming to France complaining that they're not integrated into
Yeah,
society. And sort of you start to see why, because putting another person into a friend group really does sort of align you differently. It's chemistry, so it really does. It's sort of our duty, our civil duty relationships in France, to see people happy, to see people in love, to see people thriving in these sort of beautiful ways that we're accustomed to. So we do take those things to heart. So the steps, actually, once everything else has been, the base has been very laid out for you, is quite easy. It's based on passion, and passion is the driving force. And my mom says something very funny. She says, well, Valentine's Day is the day where the man who doesn't love you all year long, that's when he takes you for dinner, because a man who loves you, it's all year is Valentine. Every day is showing you love, devotion, and
Yeah.
all these things.
Yeah.
But how do you reach those places? You reach those places by having core values being the same, compatibility, and all these things that sort of by nature are in our society. So then when you get to the physical part, you either know if it's something you want, you desire or not, and that
Mhm.
propels you and moves you very forward. But then again, you're also not rushing into things. So you can very much be with someone for 10 years and get to know each other and have different
Yeah.
apartments and perhaps live separate lives, to then sort of come together and a different part of your life and bring back all these elements and tools you've won. So you're always engaging with the new revised version of your partner, which is
Yeah.
definitely great, to
Yeah.
have a person who's happy, who's fulfilled, who feels good about where they are in life. That really makes all the
Definitely.
difference in love. Yeah.
I also just want to say that I
And
think your mom is a really wise woman. I love that little advice. And I have the answers, Christian, from our poll. I want to share them with
nice.
you. So 100% of our audience says about, let me repeat the question. So which of the famous French couples that we show them have their love letters sold in an auction? And 100% said Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI. What do you think?
I feel like I've read the love letters from Simone Beauvoir to Sartre, and I know that Napoleon was also very, very romantic. And he was also from Corsica, so he was Italian, so he was even a little bit more of a dash of romance in there.
Yeah,
But Marie Antoinette is also her letters. She wrote a lot. She was a very good writer as well. So I don't know what is the right answer.
I think, I mean, they all apply. I have definitely see a lot of the, yeah, Napoleon definitely. I think I read some of the letters, but then
Yeah, the
I know that, yeah, famous love matches in France, as we have it here. In 2019, three love letters were written the by Napoleon, and they were sold for a total of 513,000 euros in
wow.
Paris. So, can you imagine? I mean, that your love letters get to that point of
Yes.
that much money?
Yeah. Well, because also in that time, and it's something that the French tradition still keeps, you spend time apart, that time apart, that longing, that absence, that, unrequited touch of that time
Yeah,
really brought out the best writer in you. I mean, these people were longing. There was a lot of
yeah.
hormones and endorphins and all sorts of things going on. And it really brings out all of you. And I think it's amazing to miss someone. It's just as beautiful to love them. Both are,
I
are equally
definitely
enchanting.
agree. I definitely agree, Christian.
Yes,
And sadly, our time has come to an end, but I really enjoyed this conversation. I think it was beautiful. I must say, in my opinion, it's like there's no guidebook or there's no rule for how a relationship should be. It all depends if you want to take the traditional road or non-traditional. It depends on you and your partner. And I love how the French take this approach. And I just want to cheer with you one last time before we go for love and for friendship and for connections.
definitely. Definitely. And to self love, because that is very important
Self-love,
as well.
important.
Cheers.
Sante.
Santé.
Well, thank you, Christian, again for joining us. Again, everyone in the audience from joining us. I saw that we have people from. Oh, we have, and that's it. We have from. Are we done? Sorry. And then we have people from Kathmandu. We have people from Athens. Sorry, guys. I thought there was a sign. We have people from around the world, and I'm so happy that you guys joined. Uh, If you're interested in more of these experiences, please visit teams.withlocals.com to learn more about our interactive experiences that are completely tailored to keep employees connected and engaged. So for now, have a nice weekend filled with love and see you guys on the next week of Happy Hour. It is Friday, every Friday. Bye, guys.